Some years back, we needed a new front entrance at our house, so basically new stairs. And when Mike Proger came, I thought he would just put up stairs. No, how he started was with digging. He dug and he dug and he dug and he dug below the frost line to pour a footer of concrete. It took that to be solid and grounded. You live in a house, and I bet you that house has a foundation. And the bigger and taller the house, the more solid the foundation needs to be. And think of Freedom Tower in New York City, 1776 foot high. The foundation, 158 feet down in the ground. That does not apply just to buildings, it applies to us. How are we rooted and grounded? What is our foundation? The Old Testament, the Hebrew scriptures talk about, as we've just heard, God is my rock. Solid foundation, firm. If we are grounded in God, the winds, the storms may come, they may shake us some, but we're still rooted and grounded. Doesn't take it away. And what in the Old Testament is God as the rock is in the New Testament. Jesus is the rock. And we know Jesus by being connected with him. And that connection, that's what it is about. When you think of religion, the word religion is made out of two words, and the ligin, think of ligament. What do ligaments do? They hold things together. And when you think about the purpose of religion overall is to tie us together to the ground of being, to our foundation, keep us rooted, connected to Jesus, the rock of our lives. That's the purpose. We're rooted and grounded in him. Now, why is that so important to have, that root and that foundation? Well, you and we all know life is very transient. The question is not whether the storms come or what is fleeting. It's going to come sooner or later. And in all the transitions, when you look what's fleeting, when you think of what are fads, what is not lasting, it's good to have rooting and grounding, isn't it? So what about fashion and hairstyle and glasses? Have you ever looked at 20 years ago pictures of yourself? Like, yikes. They don't last. Think about toys. We used to have a Tamagotchi, one of those small little, and we fed it and was like, well, it's gone a long time ago. Think of how fragile life is and how vulnerable we are. If you're a parent, something would happen to your kid. It's so fragile, so vulnerable are we. So where and how are we rooted when the storms come, when the bottom falls out, when we feel like shaken to the core? Jesus is our rock in a weary land. The other image, the Golden Gate Bridge, we know it all. To be as tall and to carry the weight and the whole suspension, what is there that you cannot see? Anchored deeply in the ground, in the bedrock. Rock, you dig, you dig, you dig, you come to the solid foundation. That would not last. All the winds and storms, even the earthquakes. It's because it's deeply rooted and grounded. Jesus is my rock in a weary world. Jesus. It's interesting for us as human beings. Often we learn only the hard way, don't we? We're after smart, we just don't get it. But we're this close to the next accident, to the next tragedy happening. I do not want you to ever experience it. I don't want you to live in fear, never ever. That's what faith is about, that we trust that God is walking with us, that God carries us through the challenges. Part of that is being rooted and grounded in the rock that Jesus is. So God is my rock and my Redeemer. Jesus is our rock, our solid foundation. What do you build your life on? What is your foundation? What are you rooted and grounded into?